The law offices of Silverman and Associates, located on Madison Avenue in New York, were filled with tense silence. It was December 10th, exactly 15 days before Christmas. Gabriel Anderson, 32 years old, CEO of Anderson Holdings, a corporate empire worth $400 million, sat in a leather chair wearing an impeccable Armani suit, his Rolex gleaming on his wrist, his expression one of pure disdain. Beside him, Mr. Henry Silverman, the family's lawyer for 30 years, held the document he had just read aloud. The last will and testament of Benjamin Anderson, Gabriel's grandfather, patriarch of the family, who had passed away a week ago at 89. And the will had a clause Gabriel couldn't process, couldn't believe was real. "This is a joke, right?" Gabriel said, his voice sharp as a blade. "My grandfather couldn't have written this." Mr. Silverman adjusted his glasses, clearly uncomfortable. "Mr. Gabriel, I can assure you the will is legitimate. Your grandfather was of sound mind when he drafted it. There were 3 witnesses present, all reputable. There is no way to contest it. Read it again, the part with the clause, because you must have misunderstood." Mr. Silverman sighed and read again, word for word. "To my grandson Gabriel Anderson, sole direct heir, I bequeath the entirety of Anderson Holdings, including all subsidiary companies, properties, investments, and assets, valued at approximately $400 million. However, this inheritance will only be transferred if Gabriel fulfills the following condition. He must be married by December 25th of the year of my passing. Not engaged, not promised, but married, with a marriage certificate filed with the county. If he does not fulfill this condition by the stipulated date, the inheritance will be divided equally among 10 charities listed in the attached appendix. Gabriel will receive nothing." Silence. Gabriel looked at the lawyer as if he had grown a second head. 15 days. He gives me 15 days to get married. Technically 15 days until Christmas. But considering it's the holiday season, courthouses have reduced hours. "I know it's 15 days, Gabriel exploded, standing up. "What I don't know is why the hell my grandfather would do this." Before continuing with this emotional story, subscribe to the channel to always receive special stories like this one, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. "He left an explanatory letter," Mr. Silverman said calmly, taking an envelope from his pocket. "He asked me to deliver it after reading the will." Gabriel snatched the envelope from his hands and tore it open. Inside, a handwritten letter with the shaky but legible handwriting of his grandfather. "Gabriel, if you're reading this, you already know the condition, and I imagine you're furious, probably breaking something expensive in Henry's office. Henry, I'm sorry about the furniture, but you need to understand why I did this. I've been watching you over the last few years. I saw you turn into a cold man, calculating. Who sees people as pieces on a chessboard? Who collects girlfriends like he collects cars? Who never, for a single second, considered truly committing to someone? You use people, Gabriel. You use and discard them. And that needs to end. This condition isn't about marriage, it's about commitment. It's about you learning that life isn't just about money and power. It's about connection, about loyalty, about building something with someone. 15 days is short. Yes, on purpose, because you won't have time to plan, to manipulate. To find the perfect woman who suits your image, you'll have to make a quick, impulsive human decision. And who knows, in that process, you might find something you never looked for, true love, or lose everything, and learn a different lesson. That money isn't everything. Either way, you'll learn something. With love, even if you don't believe it." Grandpa Benjamin Gabriel crumpled the letter with force. He went senile, completely senile. "Mr. Gabriel, with all due respect, your grandfather was lucid until the end, and the will is irrevocable. Then I'll get married, simple as that. I'll pick up any woman, get married, get the inheritance, and get divorced. Problem solved." "There's another clause," Mr. Silverman said, his voice hesitant. "If you divorce within the first 5 years, the inheritance also goes to charity. You must remain married for at least 5 years for the inheritance to be definitively yours." Gabriel went pale. 5 years? Your grandfather really thought of everything. This is absurd. Illegal. I'll contest it." "You can try, but it will take months, maybe years, and during that time the companies will be frozen. No access to funds, no decision-making power. The administrative board assumes temporary control, and considering half the board has always hated you." Gabriel understood. If he contested it, he'd lose control of the company, perhaps permanently. The board would seize the opportunity to remove him as CEO. He cornered me, Gabriel said, more to himself than to the lawyer. The old bastard cornered me completely. He gave you a choice, to marry or not to marry, but with consequences. Gabriel turned to the window, looking down at New York, the city he dominated, the city where he was king. And now, because of a crazy will, everything could go away. $400 million, the empire he helped build, all dependent on him finding a woman and marrying her in 15 days. I can help you find candidates, Mr. Silverman offered. I know several young women from good families who would be honored. No, Gabriel interrupted. I don't want help. I'll handle this myself. He left the office and went straight to his penthouse apartment on the Upper East Side. A 500-square-foot apartment, expensive minimalist decor, panoramic city view, everything money could buy, and nothing that really mattered. Gabriel poured himself a glass of whiskey that cost $500 a bottle and sat on his Italian leather sofa thinking, 15 days. He needed to get married in 15 days and remain married for 5 years. His first instinct was to call his current girlfriend, Fiona, a 24-year-old model, but he quickly dismissed the idea. Fiona was a gold digger. She'd marry for money, and in the next 5 years she'd make his life hell demanding things, making demands, expecting to live like a queen. He needed someone who expected nothing, someone who would accept a simple deal, a marriage on paper only. No expectations, no demands, just mutual convenience. But where to find such a person, and how to convince them in 15 days? He spent 3 days thinking, calling acquaintances. They all refused or made impossible demands. I'll marry you, but I want a house in my name. I'll marry you, but I want a monthly allowance of $100,000. I'll marry you, but you can't date other women. Gabriel was becoming desperate. And then, on the 4th day, December 14th, something happened that changed everything. He was returning from a meeting at a company downtown when he saw a woman sitting on the sidewalk. She looked about 25, 26 years old, wearing worn but clean clothes, brown hair tied in a messy ponytail, a dirty face with delicate features. She had a hand-lettered cardboard sign, "Need help. Anything helps. God bless." She was a beggar, one of hundreds who filled the streets of downtown New York. And Gabriel had an idea, a completely crazy idea, but one that solved all his problems. He stopped his car, a black Mercedes that cost $500,000, and got out. He walked over to her. The woman looked up, surprised. Men in $5,000 suits didn't stop to talk to beggars. "What's your name?" Gabriel asked, his tone imperious as always. "Anna," she answered hesitantly. "Anna Silvers. Anna, I'm going to make you an offer, a once-in-a-lifetime offer, and you have 10 seconds to decide." "What? What offer?" "I need to get married. Now. Today, if possible. Not for love, for business reasons, and I need to stay married for 5 years. If you marry me, I'll give you an apartment. Not luxurious, but decent food, clothes, and when the 5 years are up, $200,000 as compensation. Free and clear. You can start your life over." Anna looked at him as if he were crazy. Is this a joke?" "No, it's a serious offer. 10 seconds. Yes or no." But why me? Why a beggar on the street?" "Because you have nothing, which means you have nothing to demand. You won't make impossible demands on me. You won't expect love or romance. It's a pure transaction. I get you off the street. You help me keep my inheritance. Win-win." Anna stayed silent, processing. Gabriel counted mentally. 10, 9, 8. "I accept," she said when he reached 5. "Great. Come with me. Now? Now. Time is of the essence." Anna picked up the small backpack she had beside her, probably all she owned, and followed Gabriel to the car. When she got into the Mercedes, her eyes widened. She had probably never been in such an expensive car. "What's the catch?" she asked when they were driving. "There's no catch. There's always a catch. Rich men don't help poor women without wanting something in return. I want something, I told you, a marriage on paper, for 5 years. And during those 5 years? Will you? Will you want sex, services?" Gabriel laughed bitterly. "I don't want you, not in that sense. I want a contract. You live in the apartment I provide. I live in mine, separate lives, just legally married." "Why?" Because my deceased grandfather was crazy and put a clause in his will saying I need to be married by Christmas to inherit $400 million. And because all the women I know are gold diggers who would make my life hell, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. It's perfect." Anna was quiet for a moment. "And if I say no? Now that I know this?" Gabriel stared at her through the rearview mirror. "Then I drop you off at the next corner and find another beggar. New York has thousands." She seemed to consider it. "I want to see the apartment first, and I want a written contract detailing everything." Gabriel smiled. She was smarter than she looked. Fair enough. He took her to an apartment he had bought months ago as an investment. 2 bedrooms in Brooklyn Heights. It wasn't luxurious by his standards, but it was clean, furnished in a decent neighborhood. "This is mine?" Anna asked, looking around with wide eyes. "If you accept the offer, yes, for 5 years. After that you can stay or leave. Your choice. And the $200,000 at the end? Transferred to your account when we sign the divorce papers. Why are you doing this?" "I already explained." "No, why are you really doing this? You could pay someone, hire an actress, a model. Why a beggar off the street?" Gabriel hesitated, because the real answer was complicated. Because he wanted someone who had no power, someone who couldn't make demands, someone who would be grateful for what she got, instead of always wanting more. "Because it's easier," he said simply. Anna studied him with a look he couldn't decipher. "You're a cold man, calculating, manipulative. Yes, and I'll accept, because I need to, because I have no choice, but know this, it won't be as easy as you think." "Why not?" "Because 5 years is a long time, and people change, situations change, and you might find you've bought more than you bargained for." Gabriel laughed. "Trust me, I'm not going to fall in love with a beggar if that's what you're implying." "I wasn't. But it's interesting that your mind went straight to that." She left him speechless. Over the next 2 days they prepared everything. Gabriel had his personal lawyer draft a detailed contract. Anna read every line 3 times before signing. Gabriel was impressed. She was educated, read well, understood legal terms. "Where did you learn to read like this?" he asked. "I had an education. Before everything went wrong." "What went wrong?" "It doesn't matter. It's in the past." On December 17th, they went to the courthouse. A quick ceremony, no pomp. Just 2 witnesses, Gabriel's lawyer and his secretary. Anna wore simple clothes that Gabriel bought. Nothing fancy, just a discreet blue dress. They exchanged cheap wedding bands bought at a popular mall. Signed papers, and that was it. They were married. "Congratulations," the judge said without enthusiasm, clearly suspicious of this strange marriage. "Thank you," Gabriel replied with equal enthusiasm. They returned to Anna's apartment, officially hers now. Gabriel deposited $200,000 into an account he opened for her. "Is this an advance?" Anna asked, confused. "You said you'd pay at the end of 5 years. Changed my mind. If I'm going to bind you for 5 years, it's fair you have financial security from the start. Use it wisely." Anna looked at the bank statement on the basic cell phone Gabriel bought for her. "This is more money than I've ever seen in my entire life." "Then don't waste it." "I won't." "Thank you." "Don't thank me. It's a business deal, nothing personal." But as he left, Gabriel felt something strange, something he hadn't felt in years. Almost like guilt? No, it couldn't be guilt. He had done everything right, proposed a deal. She accepted. Everyone won. So why did he feel bad? Christmas arrived. December 25th, the will's deadline. Gabriel presented the marriage certificate to Mr. Silverman. The inheritance was officially transferred. $400 million. His completely. "Congratulations," Mr. Silverman said. "Your grandfather would be, well, I don't know if he'd be proud or furious. Whatever, I won." "You won? You're stuck in a marriage for 5 years, with a woman I barely see, who lives in a separate apartment, who doesn't bother me. It's perfect." But it wasn't perfect, because 3 days later, on December 28th, Gabriel received a call from the doorman of the building where Anna lived. "Mr. Anderson, your wife. She had an accident. An ambulance took her to the hospital." Gabriel felt his stomach sink. What kind of accident? "I don't know details, but there was a lot of blood." Gabriel ran to the hospital. He didn't know why. He shouldn't care. It was just a business arrangement. But he ran anyway. He arrived and found Anna in the emergency room. She had a deep cut on her head, was pale, scared, but alive. "What happened?" Gabriel asked, surprising himself with the concern in his voice. "I slipped in the bathroom, hit my head on the sink. It was stupid. Sorry to bother you." "You're not bothering me. Are you okay?" "Doctor said I need to stay for observation. Possible concussion. I'll stay with you." "You don't have to. Seriously, I know it's just a contract. You don't have to pretend you care." "I'm not pretending." And it was true. He wasn't. And that scared him more than anything. He stayed at the hospital all night. When Anna fell asleep under the effect of medication, he really looked at her for the first time. Not as a chess piece, but as a person. She was pretty, even with a swollen face and a bruise on her forehead. She had delicate features, expressive eyes, and something about her. Something he couldn't identify. Dignity, perhaps, despite everything she had been through. In the morning, when she woke up, Gabriel was still there. "You stayed," she said, surprised. "I stayed." "Why?" "I don't know. But before discovering the real reason, leave your like here on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any new stories. Do you think Gabriel is starting to genuinely care for Anna? And what will be the big secret she's hiding? Also tell me which city you're watching this video from. I'll mark your comment with a special heart. Now let's get back to our story. Gabriel took Anna back to the apartment that afternoon. She insisted she was fine, but he insisted on accompanying her. And for the first time since they married, he entered the apartment and really paid attention. Nothing had changed. The furniture was exactly where he left it. There were no unnecessary purchases, no luxuries, just the essentials. And there were books, many books, stacks of them on the shelves and on the coffee table. "You like to read?" Gabriel asked, picking up one of the books. It was classic literature. Dostoevsky, in transliterated Russian. "I always have. It's a way to travel without leaving the place." "You read Dostoevsky? Is there a problem?" "No, just didn't expect it. Because I'm a beggar, I shouldn't be educated." Gabriel was left speechless, because that was exactly what he thought. "Sorry, that was prejudiced." Anna smiled, the first real smile he had seen from her. "It was, but at least you recognize it. Most people don't even notice their own prejudice." "How did you end up on the streets?" Gabriel asked, sitting on the sofa. For the first time, genuinely curious. Anna hesitated, as if deciding how much to tell. "It's a long story. I have time." She sighed and sat in the armchair across from him. "My parents died when I was 18. Car accident. I was left with their debts. Lots of debts. Lost the house, lost everything. I tried to work, but without a complete education, without references, it's hard. I went from job to job, each worse than the last, until I lost even that, and ended up on the street." "How long were you on the street?" 2 years, until you showed up." Gabriel felt something heavy in his chest. 2 years. She survived 2 years on the streets of New York, and still maintained her dignity. Still read Dostoevsky. "Why didn't you seek help, shelters, family?" "I have no family. Parents were only children, grandparents all deceased, and shelters. I tried, but they're crowded, dangerous, especially for women. The street was safer in a way." "I'm sorry." "You don't have to be sorry. It's not your fault. And now I have a roof, food, security. Thanks to you. So even if it's a transaction, I'm grateful." Gabriel stayed longer than he planned. They talked about books, about philosophy, about worldviews. And he discovered Anna was brilliant, had deep insights, thought in ways he had never considered. "You should go back to school," Gabriel said when he was leaving. "Finish your education. Go to university." "With what time? With what money?" "You have $200,000 and time. You don't work. I was thinking of looking for a job." "Why?" "You don't need to." "Because I don't want to be supported. I want to have purpose, to contribute." Gabriel was impressed. Most people he knew would do anything to avoid work, and she was actively looking for a job even though she didn't need to. "Then look, but think about university. You're too smart to waste." In the following months, something changed. Gabriel started visiting Anna regularly, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. Conversations with her were different from any conversation he had with people in his social circle. She challenged him, questioned him, made him think. "Why are you so obsessed with money?" she asked one day during dinner that he insisted on bringing, expensive food from a French restaurant. "I'm not obsessed. I just understand its value." "But you have $400 million, and you still work 16 hours a day. Why? How much is enough? It's never enough. There's always more to conquer. But conquer what? You have everything. Money, power, success. What's missing? Gabriel didn't know how to answer. Because she was right. What was missing? Why did he still wake up at 5 a.m. and work until midnight? What was he proving? To whom? I don't know, he finally admitted. I never stopped to think. Maybe you should. Before life passes you by and you realize you wasted it all building an empire that doesn't bring happiness. 3 months after the wedding, Gabriel was at a social event, a charity gala where New York's elite gathered to show off wealth disguised as charity. He was with Fiona, his ex-girlfriend, who kept seeing him occasionally even after he got married. Because the marriage was just on paper, right? It didn't mean fidelity. But that night, while Fiona chatted about a new purse that cost $10,000, Gabriel could only think about Anna, about how she would use $10,000 to do something meaningful, to help people, to make a difference. Are you even listening to me? Fiona asked, annoyed. Sorry, I was distracted. You've been strange lately. Distant. I'm fine. Is it because of the beggar you married? I heard about it, everyone's talking. Gabriel Anderson, billionaire CEO, married a beggar to inherit a fortune. Is it true? Gabriel tensed. It's complicated. I bet it is. She must be loving it. Winning the lottery, beggar turned princess. Don't talk about her like that. Why, it's true, isn't it? You don't know her. You don't know anything about her. And you do? Or did you just buy her like you buy everything? Gabriel stood up. I need to go. Seriously? You're leaving me here because of her? I'm leaving you here because you're shallow, empty, and every second with you makes me question my life choices. He left before she could answer, and went straight to Anna's apartment. It was past 11 p.m. She was probably asleep, but he needed to see her. He needed... What? What did he need? He rang the bell. Anna answered in simple pajamas, hair down, sleepy face. Gabriel, what happened? Are you okay? I don't know. Can I come in? Of course. He entered, and for the first time he realized he liked being there more than anywhere else, that he preferred talking to Anna over anyone else in his world. I think I'm having an existential crisis, he said, sitting on the sofa. Anna sat next to him, concerned. Tell me, and he told her, about the event, about Fiona, about how he felt empty, about how the life he built seemed increasingly meaningless. You're waking up, Anna said softly. Your grandfather did you a bigger favor than you realize. He forced you to stop, to think, to question. But now what? What do I do? What do you want to do? I don't know. I always knew, always had a plan. But now I only know I don't want to continue as I was. Then change. It's not that simple. It is, if you let it be. 6 months after the wedding, Gabriel implemented radical changes in the company, cut his own salary in half, invested in social impact projects, created a scholarship program for young people from underserved communities, and the board looked at him as if he had gone crazy. You're destroying value for the shareholders, the CFO shouted in a meeting. I'm creating value for society. It's different. You've changed, and not for the better. Or I've changed for the better and you can't see it because you're stuck in the old model. But the most significant change was personal. Gabriel stopped dating other women, stopped going to empty social events, started spending more time with Anna, regular dinners, walks in the park, conversations late into the night about everything and nothing. You know you're falling in love, right? Paula, one of the few real friends Gabriel had, said one day. I'm not. You are. With Anna. It's obvious to everyone but you. It's a contract, a business arrangement. One you're actively trying to turn into something more, even without admitting it. Gabriel didn't answer, because he was afraid she was right. 1 year after the wedding, on their anniversary, Gabriel planned a special dinner, reserved the entire restaurant, flowers, musicians, everything money could buy. But when Anna arrived and saw the whole production, she didn't seem impressed. She seemed sad. Gabriel, what is this? Our wedding anniversary. I thought we should celebrate. Why? It's a contract, remember. You said so yourself. Nothing personal. I know what I said, but what? Gabriel hesitated. It was the moment to be honest, the moment to admit. But I changed my mind about everything, about you, about us. There is no us. There's a business arrangement with an expiration date. And if I don't want it to have an expiration date anymore? Anna stayed silent, looking at him with an expression he couldn't decipher. Gabriel, I need to tell you something. Something I've been hiding. What? I'm not who you think I am. Not completely. What do you mean? Anna took a deep breath. I'm not just a random beggar you found on the street. I knew who you were. I was there on purpose. Gabriel felt the world stop. What? Your grandfather, Benjamin Anderson. I knew him. Very well. How? He was my mentor, my teacher. When I was 19, before my parents died, I was studying business administration, and he gave volunteer lectures at the university where I studied. He met me, saw potential in me, mentored me. This doesn't make sense. My grandfather never mentioned you. Because I asked him not to. When my parents died, when I lost everything, I was ashamed. I didn't want him to know. I stopped going to lectures, disappeared. But he found out. He did, about 6 months before he died. Found me on the street, and he was devastated, said he had failed me, that he should have looked for me when I stopped showing up. Gabriel was processing, his brain working to connect the dots. He planned this, the will, the clause, he wanted me to find you. Yes, he told me about the will's condition, said he was going to force you to marry within 15 days, and he asked me to be there, on that specific day, in that specific place, where you found me. It was a setup. Everything was a setup. It was. He orchestrated it all because he wanted 2 things, to force you to commit, and to get me off the streets, all at once. Gabriel stood up, feeling as if he had been punched. So you didn't accept because you needed to. You accepted because he asked you to. No, I accepted because I needed to, and because he asked me to. Both things are true. You lied to me. I omitted. It's not the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. This entire year was a lie. Everything we built was based on manipulation. No, what we built was real. The feelings were real. The connection was real. The origin may have been manipulated, but what grew was genuine. Gabriel was angry, angrier than he had been in a long time. I can't trust you. I can't trust any of this. Gabriel. No, I want you to leave today, now. I'll honor the contract. You keep the apartment, the money, but I don't want to see you ever again. You're making a mistake. The mistake was believing any of this was real. Anna picked up her purse, eyes filled with tears. Your grandfather was right about you. You're cold, calculating. And when someone finally breaks through those defenses, you run. Because having real feelings scares you more than anything. Get out. And she left, closing the door softly behind her. Gabriel was left alone in the expensive restaurant he rented, with flowers no one would see, with musicians playing to an empty room, and he felt more alone than when he was actually alone. 2 months passed. Gabriel didn't try to contact her. Anna didn't either. He returned to his old life, working 16 hours a day, empty social events, superficial women, but nothing felt right. Nothing filled the void Anna left. You're an idiot, Paula said when he finally opened up. She was honest, finally, and you threw her out. She lied for a year. She omitted, and for good reasons. What else was she supposed to do? Tell you on the first day? Hi, your grandfather orchestrated this whole thing. Would you have believed her? I don't know. You do. You would have run, like you're running now, because you're scared. Scared of being vulnerable, scared of love. I'm not scared. You are, and your grandfather knew. That's why he created this whole situation, to force you to face your fears. He had no right. He did. He was your grandfather, and he loved you, and he knew you were slowly destroying yourself with the life you had chosen. 3 months after the separation, Gabriel was in his office when Mr. Silverman appeared. I came to deliver something, another letter from your grandfather. He instructed me to deliver it after a year of marriage, if you were still together. But we're not. I know, but I thought I should deliver it anyway. Gabriel took the envelope, hands trembling, opened it, read it. Gabriel, if you're reading this, it means a year has passed, a year with Anna, and I sincerely hope it was a year that changed your life. I imagine you know the truth by now. About Anna, about me orchestrating your meeting, and I imagine you're furious if you found out, or maybe you haven't found out and she never told you. Both scenarios are possible, but you need to understand, I did this for both of you. For you, because you needed to learn to commit, to care for someone, to be vulnerable, and for her, because she deserved a second chance, deserved to be saved. Hannah is special, Gabriel. She's one of the most brilliant people I've ever known, and you are too. In different ways, but brilliant. Together, you could be extraordinary, if you let yourselves. I know I manipulated, I know it was wrong, but sometimes to fix something broken, you need to force the pieces together, even if they don't want to. Because you know that once connected, they'll create something beautiful. Don't waste this. Don't let pride or fear destroy what you've built. And Anna, if you're reading this too, because I know Gabriel will show it to you, even if he's angry, don't give up on him. He's stubborn, but he's worth it, I promise. With love and no regrets, Grandpa Benjamin. Gabriel folded the letter carefully. And for the first time in 3 months, he knew what he needed to do. He went to Anna's apartment, rang the bell. She opened, surprised to see him. Gabriel, can I come in? That depends. Did you come to Yelmore? No, I came to apologize. Anna stepped aside, letting him in. Gabriel saw the apartment had changed. There were more books. There were diplomas on the wall. She had returned to university. There was life there, life she had built without him. You went back to school, he said. I did, as you suggested. I'm finishing my business degree, finishing what I started. I'm proud of you. You don't need to be. I didn't do it for you. I know. You did it for yourself, and that's why I'm proud. Silence. I read another letter from my grandfather, Gabriel finally said. He explained everything, and I understood. Understood why he did what he did, why you did what you did. And I was wrong. Wrong to throw you out. Wrong not to listen. Wrong to let pride destroy what we had. What we had or what you think we had. What we had. A real connection. Real love. Even if it started in a manipulated way. Anna had tears in her eyes. You hurt me, Gabriel. When you threw me out. When you said nothing was real. It hurt deeply. I know. And I'm sorry. I'm sorrier than I can express. Why should I forgive you? Because you love me, just as I love you, and because we both deserve a second chance, just like my grandfather wanted to give us. How do you know I love you? Because you're still wearing your wedding ring even after 3 months. Anna looked at her own hand. The cheap wedding band they bought at the mall. Still there. It's just habit. It's not. It's hope. Hope that I'd wake up, that I'd realize, that I'd come back. Your ego is immense. It is. But this time I'm right. Anna laughed through her tears. You're impossible. I am, and you love me anyway. I do. Damn it, I do. Gabriel kissed her. Their first real kiss. In a year of marriage, their first kiss of true love. When they separated, Gabriel said, let's start over. For real. Without contracts. Without agreements. Just you and me. Building something real. And the 5 years? The will? To hell with it. If we stay together, it's because we want to. Not because a document says so. And if it doesn't work out, it will. Because this time, it's a choice. Not an obligation. 3 years after the original wedding, they renewed their vows. A real ceremony this time. With friends. With Anna's family that Gabriel helped her find. And in the place of honor, a photo of Grandpa Benjamin. He brought us together, Anna said during the ceremony. Using her real name for the first time publicly, she had gone back to using her own name when she rebuilt her life. In a manipulative way, calculated, but loving, because he saw what neither of us saw, that we were perfect for each other. If only we'd let ourselves. Gabriel added, I spent my life building an empire, accumulating money, power, success, but I was empty, completely empty, until her. Until I was forced to stop, to see, to feel, and I'm grateful every day. Grateful to my crazy grandfather, grateful to her for having patience with me, grateful for the second chance. 5 years after the original wedding, the will's deadline expired, and they remained married, because they wanted to, because the love they built was real. Gabriel transformed the company completely. Half of the projects were social impact. Anna graduated with honors, opened her own consultancy, helping people in vulnerable situations rebuild their lives. Your grandfather would be proud, Anna said on the anniversary of his death 10 years later. Of him, of us, of what we built. Do you think he planned everything from the beginning? Every detail? No, I think he created an opportunity, and we did the rest. It was a strange gift, forcing you to get married. It was the greatest gift anyone ever gave me, because it gave me you, gave me purpose. Gave me a real life. And looking back on the entire journey, Gabriel understood. understood his grandfather's wisdom. Sometimes love needs to be forced, needs to be arranged, not because it isn't real, but because people are stubborn, blind, unable to see what's in front of them. And his grandfather saw two lost young people needing each other, and he brought them together in an unorthodox way, but effectively, and in the end it didn't matter how it started, it mattered where they arrived. Together, happy, complete, and that was the true inheritance. Not money, not the company, but love. Love that transforms, that heals, that completes. And Gabriel was the richest man in the world, not because of his bank account, but because he had found true love, even if he had to be pushed into it. Comment down below love's inheritance to let me know you made it to the end of this video, and I'll mark your comment with a special heart. And if the story of Gabriel and Anna moved you, I have another even more surprising one to share with you. Just click on the video that's appearing on your screen now and I'll tell you everything. A big hug and see you at the next emotional story. Bye-bye.